Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome back to Dovetail Games Train Simulator. So, a bit different today. Normally Wednesday's a flight sim day, but I thought I'd change things around a little bit because tomorrow is Patrick's Day. The IVAL XU are going to group flight tomorrow. That and train sims have any Irish routes, so I thought mix up a bit today. We'll do Wednesday on train sim, Thursday flight sim, and kind of go from there. So, today taking a look at the Croydon Tramlink in Train Simulator. This is based on a few different mods. So I originally wanted to do a Sutton and Mole Valley route in Train Sim from London Bridge to, say, Epsom, for example, but I can't quite get it to work. I think there's a few scenario packs I'm missing, or a few train loco packs I need to figure out, so I'll work it all out for later. But in my searches, came across an add-on for this. So the Croydon Tramlink, long story short, is a set of tram lines based on former British Rail routes in the south of London, connecting Wimbledon and Croydon, with several residential and commercial venues in between. So today, taking charge of a Croydon tram from here in Therapia Lane tram depot, as far as East Croydon, where another driver will then bring it all the way to Elmers End. So about 20 or so minutes driving today. It's not the longest route in the world, but I don't know, I've never... Well, I've done trams in train sim before, I guess, in the form of the Frankfurt tram, but I don't know. It feels a close to a bit London. It uses the Mole Valley route which I wanted to try out today, so it all kind of works out. So the Richard Scott Croydon Tramlink CR4000 using Class 37's fourth train out scenario. So jump to cab, set train up, and prepare ourselves for our departure. It may not be the prettiest model in the world. I mean, this was put together back in 2010, I believe, so it's quite a small little model, this. But it does a fair job. That's what we need to do. Great house for train 4, actually. Right, so set up our headlights first of all, make sure everything's looking good. Thank you very much. Drive to position. Bring train out of the depot into our first stop at Therapia Lane. So about 20 or so minutes driving today, 20-25 minutes or so from Therapia Lane today to East Croydon. Stopping at about 9 stations along the way. Going through the train wash. Very shortly outside to the station. Yeah, so the actual tram itself, so this is a Bombardier CR4000 based on the K4000 tram series out in Cologne. Essentially, it's a standard tram built by Bombardier, built for London, of which 24 were built in total, but after an accident in 2016, which will train topple over and derail, there are now 23 of these units in service. Tram number 2535. So we're right now 2545. 2535. It's the only tram in this fleet that has a name to it. It's named after Stefan Parascandolo. Stefan Parascandolo. My apologies. He's an enthusiast of trams who built an unofficial enthusiast website for Tramlink back in the early 2000s. Also in a car crash in 2007. So as a ceremony for his family and quite a few tram enthusiasts who turned out in support for that. Welcome to Therapia Lane. I presume the timetable on the top right there is a little bit off, but hey ho. Nope, I've not heard anything about the line for Train Sim World Flare Wolf. What's your source for that one? If it's true, I'd be very interested. Unfortunately, I've personally heard yet. So, welcome to Therapia Lane.
Next stop.
Actually, no, it would be, hang on, get it right, more like that one.
Currently boarding at Therapia Lane.
So this is a mod, Gaming Junior. This is a mod, which you can download off of the UK Train Sim website, or the train itself you get on UK Train Sim, then the routes for train out you then get off the Class 37 website, so that's all native to its own site. Right, 50 mile per hour speed limit. Let's depart as Therapia Lane. Next station is Ampere Lane.
Next stop, Ampere Way.
I don't really want to go too fast with these trams. Got to remember that these services are pretty much start, stop, start, stop throughout the entire journey. This particular section of track was former British Rail, so like I say, a lot of the Tramlink was built on former National Rail track, converted for use as a tram. And the most famous lines was the line between Wimbledon and West Croydon, I believe. That closed in 2006, then became part of Tramlink in 2007. So that was former National Rail. Not a very long line, it's about 2.5 miles or so in length. But ultimately, as a passenger service, or very little usage, it ultimately just worked out better as a tram line instead. Welcome to Ampere Way. Again, for a model built in 2010, it's not a bad little bit of detail in this model. It does make life, well, it certainly makes it for a lot of fun. Don't care about train sim stuff, I'm afraid, don't care about flight stuff on train sim streams. My number one rule: if I'm playing train sim, talk about train sim. If I'm playing flight sim, talk about flight sim. So sorry, dude, not today. Right. Now departs from Ampere Way. Next station, Wadden Marsh. I was also feature a full interior as well, a little bit of a cabin to explore as well. Though I must note, this is like a 3-car set in the interior, and the exterior, only a 2-car set. So obviously, at some point, different models. But these days, I believe these are 3-car units on the Tramlink. Originally, it was onto the 2-car running. And also, despite being in London myself, having lived here all my life, and actually getting free travel on Tramlink based on my concessions at work and all that, I've never actually been on Tramlink. I've never been this. I've been in Wimbledon. I've been through Croydon. I've never actually had a reason to get off and use a tram before. So maybe one day, maybe one day. But as it stands, I've never actually been on a Tramlink. And don't really have a need at the moment either. Welcome to Wadden Marsh.
Currently boarding at Wadden Marsh.
Yes, Jensen World Fair, do really enjoy it. It's a good platform, TSW. May not be the most popular in the world, but does really put you into the world of train, especially with the dynamics, the buttons, what you can actually do, press and play with. It's a very good platform for its immersion, so yes, I do enjoy a bit of Train Sim World. Next station, Wandle Park. So the route itself, like I say, the main part of this route is the Sutton and Moor Valley line version 2.3. This is only an extra, so this kind of exists as like an AI bit, or just an extra bit of track in the background for those that actually use the main line. This particular bit of track, and the head scenery looks a bit off at the moment, isn't really designed for you to drive on, but rather they included it as part of just the service, and then obviously at some point got converted into a drivable line. Stations include throughout the track. And yeah, it just makes for a bit of extra fun in train sim. I do really like it. It's simple, a bit bumpy there, I must admit. But I do like it. It's an extra little bonus. Just gives us a little bit more to do. Welcome to Wandle Park.
Currently boarding at
this is Train Simulator,
Park.
Mohammed Fazil. This is Dovetail Games Train Simulator, using a couple of mods to introduce the Croydon Tramlink. And there are a few other Tramlink routes out there as well, so I guess the most known one in Train Sim is the, well, Frankfurt's U-Bahn, but acts as a tram for a lot of its run. There are also free mods as well out there, so for example this one, there's a tramway tramway map as well, which lets you test out different trams and scenarios. So there are a few options out there for them. And yeah, again, it's just a little bonus, an extra nicety. At this point, we're going to go down to single track now. We'll then be crossing over the southern main line at this point. A bit of power, just climb uphill. There we go, so to our right, so you've got the southern main line. It's 20 miles per hour again as we start navigating downhill. Just apply the brakes. Now into the road section of the line. As we approach Reeves Corner on the next station. There we go, nice and steady. Perfect.
Currently boarding at Reeves Corner.
Whoops, that was the wipe up. Did not want to press that. I was typing in the what do you call it? It's the destination there. Sorry, right, Reeves Corner. Yes, NIMBY Rails, something that I do need to go back to at some point, especially now that there's a lot more third-party mods to it. It's getting very, very good, NIMBY Rails, something I need to really get back into. Maybe continue my European Intrail series, or maybe recreate another existing mainline. But NIMBY Rails is a very, very good platform, one that I do really enjoy playing. I do need to get back to it. You are right there, dude. Right, welcome to Croydon. So passing through Central very shortly into West Croydon, and West Croydon to East Croydon, sorry, Wellesley Road, and then East Croydon, I believe, where the train will then terminate. Up on the brakes. See, it does increase to 30 miles per hour very shortly, so we'll be sure to do that. Brakes. Release. I mean, fair enough, train sim, not really a purpose-built tram sim, but it does enable you to do not sorry, like this one. But fair enough, and always been realistic, may have a few missing details here and there. But honestly, for a freeway route, I mean, the Mole Valley route itself does require a lot of routes, pack scenarios, and trains as well. But if you have enough to get the bare minimum going, the Mole Valley route is certainly one of the best in the train sim for the freeware stuff. Also, one of the benefits is with it is that it is the only route in train sim that includes a modern day London Bridge station. If you look at London Bridge in the previous train sim routes, they all feature the original station, well I say the original, the 1960 station with the old Victorian train shed. So at some point I really want to do the London Bridge portion of that line, although it's Epsom probably. I can't get the official scenarios to work with it, so I might just create my own based on the real life timetable. But it does look really, really good, this. It's a route I highly, highly recommend. If you haven't got the I have to have 20 there, because that's a very, very tight bit of cornering there. Must admit, look, there we go. Really, really tight. It's just downhill the rest of the way now. Yeah, if you've got train sim, I highly, highly recommend the Mole Valley routes. Now it's like West Croydon, doors release. There you go, here's West Croydon Station on Southern and London Overground. Yeah, never detail getting these routes and stations. Do it really good. There you go, next train calling it London Bridge. London Bridge. Yeah, North Junction on the bridge only, 2 stops away. And you've got Victoria service just after that. It's a very, very well put together route, very, very well put together run. One I do highly recommend. Train sim. Alright, after West Croydon, Where's your road? What's happened even added West Croydon, add that to the map. We're behind as well, so if I go ding dong and then
Next stop.
there we go.
Wellesley Road.
Cool. That's the parts. So still going down a hill, push out to the right, going back up it again, so in case of balancing out power, make sure we don't go too fast around the corner. In reality, you just have to bear traffic in mind as well, so there will be cars up and down this road and buses. And then cross between 2 Croydon stations. To the left and right, make sure the road is clear. And then we enter. Ooh, speaking of cars, I see traffic. Oh, we really need to pay attention now, don't we? So now arriving at our penultimate stop. Be a bit tight. No. Yeah, can't find the traffic in this one. Best we can just sound the horn, I guess. There you go, now approaching Wellesley Road. Getting up close and personal with the traffic in this one.
Currently boarding at Wellesley Road.
So yeah, the normal service itself does continue on as far as Elmers End, which train terminates on the front there. For the purpose of this scenario, we terminate at East Croydon. Another driver, we'll take it onwards. Right, increase throttle, let's get going. Not going to lie, it's probably something more very low implemented tram routes. Like I say, so the track itself is there. It's not really there. It wasn't originally there for you to drive on, hence some of the missing scenery further down the line. But with the Rich Scott Croydon Tramlink add-on plus James Class 37's scenario for it, fourth train out, does make it possible. So again, fair play to them getting it all out and up and running. I do like it. I do enjoy it. And hopefully, with a bit of time, we'll probably start discovering a few more tram routes to train sim. Yes, there's a Lotus Simulator. Still not happy about how that one released. There's also OMSI, has a few tram routes for it as well. But I think it much better than this. 10 miles per hour, round the corner, very slowly crawling to East Croydon Station, where, as far as I'm concerned, we'll then terminate. Welcome, Lena. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to chat. How are you today? How are you? Some construction work on the right hand side there. Going down to single track for the next portion. Yes, tram sim as well. Well aware of those sims. Don't actually own them, but well aware of them. Mixed reviews I've heard. At least with Vienna, the initial release was a bit slow and stale, but has improved massively to where it is now. And then with Munich, they're the same. Initial release is really, really stale. In case seeing where it kind of goes from there with its future updates. But I have heard really good things about Tram Sim. It's one that I have been eyeing now for a little while. There you have it. Welcome to East Croydon Tramlink. So before I open the door and bring the scenarios to an end, just a quick look at the mainline station, because again, very impressive down here. Yeah, it's a very well put together route, this, the Sutton line. just to get some scenarios working for it. So, okay. Scenario ends now, I guess. Well done, driver. Go grab a cuppa for your next run. So yeah, that brings us to the end of our scenario here. Probably get the doors open, I guess, if you try and find the right click spot for it. The answer is there. And I'll control the train. No, it's a very well put together scenario. Very good, well put together route. I do like it a lot. Right, let's have a look how we did. Well, that loads also ends the route on ThirdRails. So if you press the stop. Passenger service on the Sutton and Mole Valley lines. Scenario was, can't type in the station code because it doesn't exist, so it's going to be Therapia Lane Tram Depot to East Croydon Tramlink. Source URL is going to be from the Sutton Valley lines if you're on Google. Probably use the Alan Thompson link for it. I'll go there. Country United Kingdom, and then post the ThirdRails Russell board. So now, hopefully, that should update to the rental link. I'll get that later. So, well, airline stops, I presume, in the depot probably should have opened doors, and I guess. Hence, that's why it marks at the station, because definitely stops at all of them. Stops at the destination, 7 out of 8 platforms, sped 7 times, fair enough. We're very careful with trams, as that's also what led to the derailment a couple of years ago, where I think was running 40 miles per hour in the 10 mile per hour section, where the 2 lines diverged out. Horrible crash, based on the what came out of it. Well, this was before I worked in a railway, so I never had a proper look at it until quite recently. Tramlink CR4000, 23 minutes driven, about 3 miles, 5 kilometres in total, on the old Sutton and Mole Valley line. Like I say, it's a small little route, it's a very short little route, but I do quite like it. Unfortunately, the developers behind items that broke things working as it happens. Yes, and again, I've heard that the development of the tram sims have been a bit shaky at times, but they are slowly getting there. So, yeah, I guess that's the end of that. Only short live stream today. Tomorrow we're doing flight sim. I'll say, this was just a little thing I discovered while trying to sort out the Mole Valley line for the actual mainline route. Couldn't get that to work because there's a few scenario missing, few train loco packs and whatever's missing for scenarios. Spotted a tram, thought, okay, this is good, we'll use this as a substitute instead, and it does look really good. We're looking to tram sim in the future, maybe try and do a few videos on that in some points. Yes, I also need to do some more videos for NIMBY Rails, that I'll try and do at some point soon as well. And train sim, again, try and make more of a frequent series and game on this channel. So, thank you for watching guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon for some more train sim action. Take care and bye-bye.